Hey, what's going on everyone? Seth Miranda here for AdoramaTV, coming here from my own studio for a change to try out the new Fujifilm 16-55mm f2.8. And you're gonna say, Seth, that's not new. And I'm gonna say, yeah, it is, because this is an update to a classic that a lot of you probably already are familiar with and have experience with. So what exactly is new here? Well, for one, we've got cameras that have jumped up in resolution, the Fujifilm lineup, 40 megapixels. And they're saying that this resolves on higher resolution sensors. So it is actually designed and geared towards those cameras to be able to resolve and get you that detail in that frame, which is really great to see. And I'm sure some people are kind of wondering about that with the older glass. Well, now you have an update to that. But that's not all. They actually added a declick switch here. And what does that do? Well, it declicks your aperture ring. So instead of having the click in with each aperture as you change your f-stop, you can go in between and have a smooth exposure control. This is great for video. If you just want to change your exposure while you're filming, instead of having it abrupt stops to the f-stop, you can go in between apertures, or you can actually just have a smooth lightness, darkness control as you're moving with the video, which is nice to see as well. And of course, no sound, right? So if you are filming sound, you don't actually hear it, which is great. Overall, it's a great lens as the previous one was, but it also is a lot smaller in my opinion than the previous one. So it is more compact, smaller, lightweight. It's barely on this camera in my opinion. It focuses pretty fast, and it also has a minimum focusing distance of under a foot, which is great. I'm a guy that likes to step in for my portraits, and I want my camera to be able to focus on that. So I had to put this thing to the test, and I called her my girl Marcy. She's a super talented opera singer here in New York and a stage performer. She can always use photos, so I gave her photos in that style. I went right to the window light right away. We're here at high noon, and I'm gonna use that light instead of fighting against it. So having it come through the shears and light her in that garage door style lighting with just a red background, because I know that's Marcy's colors is red. You can tell by that red lip, but those poppy blue eyes, that skin tone, she's made for this kind of stuff. So we got that nice shallow look, that shallow headshot look with the window light, catch light kind of a thing going on. And you can see here how the bokeh, the depth of field just really smoothly goes from sharp to soft, right? And that's also part of the 2 extra blades you're getting on the diaphragm here. The previous lens had 9 blades. This has 11. And some of you are gonna go, well, what does that do? Well, a lot of people focus a lot on the look of the bokeh when you have light sources in there. So for example, when you see like city lights or LED lights, you wanna see how round they are, and that can be dictated by how round your aperture is. So having more blades means it's able to have less point and can actually relax those blades to make it a rounder opening for the light to come into, thus giving you rounder bokeh or bokeh balls, whatever you want to call it. I'm so sick of saying the word bokeh, but whatever. For me, it does affect how I feel personally, that it does affect how it gradates from sharp to soft focus. And you can see that in these shots, right? You can see how it's like a nice smooth transition, and then you get that look of a really soft like ear, real soft hair, things like that, and it really makes those eyes kick. So keeping the light nice and soft, it was a bit of a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. I ran into some weird issues with the light bouncing off the floor in places I didn't want, making an uneven background, as you've probably seen in some of these shots. Quickly fixed that by throwing flags on the ground that'll eat up some of that light, black cardboard, black flags, take up that reflection, then I'm just worrying about the light coming through the window. At one point, I felt that the light wasn't as clean as I liked because they're going through dollar store shears here. I know, I gotta invest in better curtains here, but I just pulled out a quick Manfrotto Halo with a 2-stop diffuser and used that as my curtain. Does that make sense to you guys? So I was just constantly cleaning up the light and making sure Marcia looked great, which is what we care about, right? Then I was like, I know what you guys want. You're gonna wanna see some real bokeh. You're gonna wanna see what out of focus looks like. So of course I had to head out onto the balcony and take some shots for her there. And with that, I was keeping, every shot you're seeing in this video was 2.8. There's nothing that was closed down. So you're watching range of focal length from punched in real close, like when I shot with her with just a half face look when she was against the red background. And then I went a little wider when we went outside to the balcony to get more of the scene. So you can really see how that fall off is with the focus. And on top of that, I was battling that high noon sun, and I said to myself, how can I mitigate this without going crazy here? Well, I took a strobe out there and a giant XL Pro Photo shoot-through umbrella. And here's the part where you're gonna make fun of me. I didn't use the strobe. I basically used it as an umbrella adapter. You know why? Because I had the sun blazing through it already. So instead of trying to balance two light sources, instead of trying to make the strobe look like the sun, I just ended up using the sun through that giant diffuser and giving her the light that I wanted to give her, that I know she'd look great in. And then for like a final shot that I thought would look really cool, because Marcy has such bright hair, it's almost white the way she goes about it. It always explodes in the sun and we lose all detail. So instead of being a fall point, I made it a highlight, literally. Like I just wanted her to fade into that white background. So I had her actually face me with the shoot-through umbrella behind her, the sun blazing through, and I overexposed for the background, meaning she's exposed perfectly, right? Because if she's the shadow, exposed for her, background goes nuclear, but it works in this case, in my opinion it does. So instead of it being a detriment that her hair was overexposed, we see the detail in the hair up close, we have that soft shallow depth of field from the lens, and then it goes into that white explosion, that nice, it's not like a commercial white, it's almost ethereal looking. You let me know down below if you liked it. I do like this kind of look, and I was really happy with being able to get so many different types of look at just high noon light here in the studio, and got that really classy, clean, classic, I should say, shallow depth of field headshot look for her in here, and some cityscape shots out there. So overall, this lens I felt focused really quickly. I felt I definitely resolved more detail. I was zooming into her eye in the viewfinder and showing her that even the clouds in the sky while we were shooting in the studio were showing up in her eye as we zoomed into those pixels. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's an updated lens for updated system, and you're getting just a better version of what they've already had out there. And that's what an update should be. Smaller, lighter, focuses close, shallow depth of field, more blades for a different depth of field, the D-click, so it's more optimal for video. And I will also say, I felt while using it, the focus breathing was very, very mitigated. Like it's not shocking. So I feel like they also looked at video in that case as well, if you do use a lot of your Fujifilm cameras for video, like the XH2S, for example, okay? Anyway, that's gonna do for me here with the 16-55 f2.8 from Fujifilm. Let me know with a comment down below if there's anything you want me to answer. I'll do my best to answer it, but there are links to all the nerd data and all the specs, so you can go check it out for yourself. Don't forget to like, share this video around, hit subscribe and the bell to get notified when we put more videos like this. And I'll see you next time. Later, guys.